Welcome to the Manuchehri podcast. Over the last 30 years, it has been my joy to assist humanity in aligning with their magnificence so they may heal, discover their natural gifts, and communicate with loved ones living on the other side. May you also experience delight while we dance in the powerful, intuitive world of energy. Let's get going. Welcome to today's podcast. It is March 27th, 2024. Welcome to spring, an exciting time of the year for North America and everywhere else in the world. It's an exciting time of year. I wanted to first talk about intuitive impressions, which are actually normal for individuals to have and experience. And they do require some sort of exploration, not from what your mind tells you what they mean, but what from your emotional response system, how it shares information with you. And so something that can be very helpful when it comes to understanding your intuition and yourself and learning to engage with this very wise, powerful part of yourself is to actually take notes of your intuition. Because intuition is so quick, you could have it and have a full awareness of it and think it's really interesting. And then you do something in the physical realm and it could just dissipate. For some reason, well, the reason probably is just because people are 70% water and we live on a planet that's approximately 70% water. So a lot of people will have intuitive impressions near water when they're in the shower, sitting on the toilet, in a bathtub, running in the rain. And you have this like kind of cool download of awareness. You're like, oh, this is great. Yeah, this is super helpful. And you think there's no way in heck you're going to forget it. It's so clear. It's interesting. And then you step out of the shower, you start to blow dry your hair or you brush your teeth or something like that, and it will be gone. So keep pads, potentially, maybe that doesn't happen to you, but it does to a lot of people, and it absolutely happens to me. So keep paper and pencil near so that you can make some notes. And the interesting thing about just writing it down, I think it helps the logical mind to relax and allow more of that intuitive process to come through. So you might get more information when you start to write it down. It's really critical to make notes of your intuition so you can begin to understand it, begin to learn from it, because intuition comes into your life to help you, to assist you, to give you solutions. And we really want to be a population of beings who are interested in high vibrational solutions, not low vibrational solutions. Those come from the logical mind. The logical mind says you can do A or B. And we usually go, I don't like A. I kind of don't like B. Oh my gosh, I'm going to choose the lesser of two evils. But that's not intuitive. The intuitive process will bring you many more solutions that are desirable, that have high frequency resolution, that are easy, that are in flow. That's normal. So know that when you're getting information, and even if you think it's intuitive and you don't like the solutions, that means it's not intuitive. You've gained information from your logical mind, and the logical mind is not an intuitive body. It is only for logical experiences. And when you live on Earth, you have to have ways to move through the planet logically. Like I need to make sure that my phone is silenced, that I practiced on Riverside before I do the podcast to make sure the sound is delicious, and made sure the lighting was good in the room for today before we began our podcast. So if you could, maybe this week, when you get intuitive impressions, that's going to help you to understand too what's intuitive and what's logical, because you only need logical awareness for logical things. If you want to have solutions to wonderful parts of your life, like who to love, how to create more wealth, how to make a healthy body, what to do in the world that is fulfilling for you, those are intuitive solutions. They're not logical. It's not going to make sense to the logical mind who would be the best people for you to be friends with. The mind doesn't understand emotions. It doesn't feel emotions, although humans run around the planet thinking that they're feeling all the time from mind-made emotions, but those are not accurate feelings. The first thing I do, as soon as I get on a call to have a session with someone, the first thing I do is check into their emotional body, because I can see it, hear it, and feel it and understand it, because I want to make sure that the session that I'm having with that individual is actually affecting them in the most accurate way possible. So I'm not going to be concerned with their mind-domain emotions. We certainly will talk about them as I explain. I teach all of my clients how to feel their real emotions. I think it's critical. 98% of the people I see, which is I've seen a lot of people over the years, don't think they're happy, and they are. And then a smaller percentage of people think that they're happy, but they actually might be mad or sad and have different feelings that they also need to have an awareness so they can nurture themselves. But the majority of the people, at least that I see, which is a reflection of a part of the population of humanity, are anxious, depressed, and angry. So they think, or lonely, or other emotions, but they really, really, really are happy. And they're always surprised when I teach them techniques to feel their authentic emotional body so that they can actually garner what they're really feeling. They're always surprised. And this puts you in alignment. When you feel your real emotions, you move into energetic alignment. And that makes intuition even 1,000 times more accurate when your body's in alignment. Your heart line zips in, this beautiful body of energy that connects you to way beyond the heavens and way below the earth, that allows you to have access to ancient wisdom from multiple lifetimes. It's a solution-based expansion, the Hara line is. And when people are connected to their ancient wisdom, they also get to sense their magnificence, because in every lifetime we've allowed a portion, hopefully more, but at least a portion of our omnipresence to come through. So when you're in alignment and your heart line is shining because you're actually feeling your authentic emotions, which are always calm, they're always compassionate, and a little bit surprising because they're going to be the opposite of what your mind tells you every single time throughout my day. As my mind is telling me what I'm feeling up and down, I ignore it. I don't pay attention to any of those mind domain emotions. I think they're a complete waste of time and they're not accurate. It's not going to put us in alignment. So I wait until I can rest in the lower half of my body and feel my real emotions, which even when we're angry, they're calm, not the frustrated mind-made emotion of anger, which is like, and it's just so fast and kind of mean, and it's not real anger. Okay, so let's go to the voicemails. People graciously go to my website, get onto the podcast page, and leave a voicemail for me to answer for them. And we have lots of them, so thank you so much. It makes me very happy. So we're going to get started on these voicemails. All right, thank you.
Hi, Marie. My name is Jennifer. I live in Winnipeg, Manitoba. My question to you is about holy fire Reiki energy. I would like to know the truth, if it truly is a Reiki symbol and has as much healing energy and output as regular Reiki. I ask this because I took an online course of holy fire Reiki during the coronavirus pandemic, and I was just wondering if it was made up just for income for people to continue with Reiki to keep it flowing. Sorry, in the background, that's my dog chewing a bone. Anyways, I apologize, and yes, please and thank you. That's it. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Jennifer. So Jennifer's question was about Reiki add-ons. So Reiki is a energy form of healing. It was first brought to the US most recently, because it's very old, it's very ancient, by Dr. Emoto, who was a Japanese physician who hiked up to a beautiful mountain in Japan and had an incredible spiritual experience that lasted, like 7 or 8 days. And he was given what we call the keys to healing, because I love Reiki. And what happens is the practitioner who teaches Reiki puts attunements in people's bodies so that they can start using these incredible symbols. And there's a symbol for distance work. There's a symbol for releasing emotions. There's a symbol for moving energy in their body. And there's a symbol, the Raku one, which is really the most important. But a lot of people don't wait. Many people teach Reiki in series, like they'll teach level 1, level 2, level 3. I like to teach them all at once. So I teach all the levels in a weekend. That's the way I was taught. And Raku is the last level of Reiki. It's the most important symbol because it brings energy in through the top of your head. So I just attract people who are ready to have all those attunements in a weekend. I've always been really blessed with the type of people that I attract to my practice, my classes. They're lovely. They're aware and ready for whatever's coming down the pipe for them. So that's exciting. So there have been over the years add-ons where people have created other attunements, I think they are. And they call them different things and they do different things. So I don't know very much about them, honestly, Jennifer. I haven't been drawn to them, but it actually doesn't matter. People don't even have to learn healing modalities. They can just lay their hands on people and that will create a movement of energy and healing and whatnot. So if it brings you joy, enjoy it, use it, have fun with it. That's all that's important always in life. That's always the answer. If it brings you joy, great. It's perfect. I hope that's helpful. Okay, so now we're going to go on to the next one.
Hello, Mary. I hope this message finds you well. First, I wanted to express my sincere gratitude for the warmth and the light that you shine. Now, a bit of context leading up to my question. In my upbringing and surroundings, there were structures that dim my light. Over the course of almost 5 decades, I have carried a sense that there is something special within me just waiting to unfold. Now, at this juncture of my life, there is a newfound excitement about embracing the unfolding of my being and allowing my light to shine brightly. I'm curious about the next steps on this beautiful journey. Currently, my path has led me to you, and I sense that there is potential for growth through your courses or sessions. So, would you be able to provide some insight or guidance on how I can proceed? Your wisdom would mean a lot to me. Sending much love.
I'm so happy that you are feeling inspired to let your light shine. That's critical and important. It's highly necessary that we let our light shine. It's something that we really, 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 really need to do. I would encourage you to fall madly in love with you because that's really what makes the gifts come forward. When we fall in love with ourselves, we move into alignment because creation loves us so much, so deeply that when we're connecting and receiving that knowledge and information from the universe, the amount of love that we feel is highly compassionate and brings healers, intuitives, and psychics to tears, to literal tears. So when people love themselves, they get comfortable with positive language in their mind and their heart and their spirit, and they more readily can respond or experience the multisensory world, creation guiding them. So I just can't say enough things about falling in love with yourself. That will help your light to glow and shine in ways that you would never imagine. And I'm excited for you. Yeah, good for you. Perfect.
Hi, Marie. This is Lindsay. How do I stop getting migraines? Anything you can tell me to help me with my health and well-being would be greatly appreciated. And what do my spirit guides want me to know? Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Thank you, Lindsay. So your spirit guides want you to know that you're highly intuitive. People who get migraines or cluster headaches or frequent headaches are highly psychic, but they're blocking it. So blocking one's energy means that you're not allowing yourself to have the full expression of your insight, that you have this incredible insight. It's profound. It's going to shock you and surprise you. It's intuition's like that. Professional intuitives are always surprised with the information they hear, not only for the people that they work with, but for themselves. The true messages from the universe are first and foremost incredible solutions, but never what the brain would tell you. So learning to get away from your mind, overthinking, analyzing, and processing, not using your logic, resting in the lower half of your body, feeling your vibration will help you in your headache realm, in the migraines, and also help you to connect to your multisensory world. So when you're experiencing a headache or a migraine, just know that there's something that you've been missing in your awareness that you're not paying attention to, and you have the capability of doing so. So you have really great intuition. I would explore that exponentially and really allow yourself to connect to that feeling as much as possible, and start writing down your impressions about things. It might even feel like it's your mind, because initially for a lot of people, when they start to experience the intuition, they think it's their brain, but it's really not. There's a different type of feeling. It's calm, it's compassionate, and it's a little bit surprising. I hope it's helpful. On to the next person.
Hi, Marie. My name is Isis. I live in Virginia. I have a couple of questions. On December 12th, I actually suffered my second miscarriage, and I intuitively wanted to, of course, tap in spiritually to get guidance as to why this was happening or recurring, or what I can do, or maybe it's not meant for me to have another child. But I have been struggling to really connect with my spirit guides and to tap in at all. I'm not sure if the both things are mutually exclusive. Meaning I'm not sure if I'm in just a low vibration as a result of certain things going on in my life, or if it's something that I need to change within myself, or something that I can shift to get me to a higher vibration. I can light the incense and have the crystals and do the whole thing, but inevitably I understand that it's a something within me that I need to raise. So I'm struggling to not be angry about the miscarriage, but I'm also, this time around, this is my second miscarriage, and the first time around I was angrier. This time around I'm more spiritual, where I understand some things are just bigger than myself, so to speak. So I'm able to surrender to it a bit more. I'm not sure if there's something that I can do, or I guess my question really is, how can I enable myself? How can I turn that switch from being in this construct that doesn't necessarily make me happy all the time? How can I make that switch to be able to go into meditation and to truly tap in, whether I'm by water or with a candle or whatever the case may be? I understand that has to come within me.
Right.
Can you please guide me a little bit more? I could really use your insight, and I appreciate your time and gratitude for your work. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm sorry about the miscarriages. I'm sure that's incredibly challenging and certainly not fun. I do think if you want to have another child, which I'm not 100% convinced that you do want another child, I think you want something new and different and wonderful in your life. But you can have another child. You're just going to need some pharmaceutical help. You're going to need to, enlist a specialist. And I just see tablets, so some sort of medication that will help you to maintain the pregnancies. That's what I'm feeling. Now, the babies that miscarried, souls know when a womb is going to be viable or not, or if a person's going to end a pregnancy or not. Souls can look into earth. We're not complicated at all, and have a really great idea of what's going to happen. So souls that entered into your womb didn't want to live on earth. So they only wanted to occupy the space for a period of time and then not be born. They used it for some sort of healing aspect for themselves, to maybe be desired and to be celebrated, but they didn't want to live a life on earth. So nothing wrong with that. Souls that want to be embodied in a physical form and live a human lifetime typically don't enter the womb until close to delivery. They can if they want to, but most souls are like, well, I don't have to hang out in the womb. I'm just going to hang out with all my friends here on the other side. And right before birth, I'm going to jump in and, you know. So some pharmacology would be excellent to help you to maintain the pregnancies. And you do need to figure out what brings you joy. It's not candles. I can tell you that much. It would be imperative for you to spend like a weekend and rest in your body away from your brain. Joy is not a mind-driven experience. It's kind of like when kids are playing and they're laughing their heads off so much that they almost wet their pants and they just can't stop laughing. That's what joy is like. It's like swinging on a swing. It has a very playful vibration to it. So if you could spend a weekend just asking yourself, is this making me happy while you're going about your day? Is this making me happy? Does that make me happy? And start measuring if the joy is actually coming into your frequency. And then when you have those awarenesses, rinse and repeat, go do those joyful things again. I'm so happy I have a dog because I really love to walk. I love to be outside. And if I didn't have a dog, I would not be out as often as I am. Like today, I was out in the pouring rain. It didn't start off raining, but I knew it was going to rain when we were out there. But that was really the only time I had to give Charles a decent, long, great walk. And we both got soaking wet. But in that moment, I was just so grateful that I have a dog because I would be inside if it was pouring out rain. But I have to walk him twice a day, freezing cold, sunshine. I mean, when it starts to get hot, I'll have to walk him early in the morning and in the evening because he doesn't like heat. So you have some exploring to do to figure out some joy, which will lead you to other aspects of your life that will be very fulfilling and rewarding for you as well. And go find a specialist to talk to you about medication to maintain the pregnancy longer. Thank you.
Hi, Marie. Thank you for sharing your light. My name is Peter, and I have 2 things I would love to get your specific perspective on. First, tinnitus. I've got it. It started about 15 months ago when I had some energy work done, only from time to time and in one ear at the start, and over time, it has increased to be seemingly constant and in both ears. I have not really told anyone about it except for my healer, and I find comfort in the ringing. Thoughts? Second, I went to see a psychic medium last February, mostly just for fun, to be honest, and he looked at my palm, pointed to a brown mark on my right palm. It is sort of in the middle of the thumb where the thumb meets the palm. Until he took my hand and pointed to it, I had never seen that mark before. I even tried to rub it off, thinking he was mistaken. It must be some sort of dirt. The mark did not move. It is still there right now. Believe me when I tell you, there is no way I would never have seen such a mark if it had been there before that very moment in time. It felt like a true Matrix or quantum leap moment for me. He referred to the mark with a name I cannot remember, either his personal language or palmistry lingo, I'm not sure. And he said that it meant I could be a healer myself. Thoughts? Thank you. We will be living in a time of great love and prosperity.
I actually think we are already living in a great time of love and prosperity. It's all about vibration. Depending on where one's frequency is, their reality can be very different than the rest of the world. That is a truth. And that's what we're all learning to do, is to be mindful of our frequency, our vibration, and choose to have a higher one so we can have a completely different experience on earth. But Peter, I loved your comment about the ringing of your ears. I love that you love it. That is the sign of a healer, by the way. And I think this spot has always been there. I don't think it magically appeared. I think your consciousness is finally at a place where you can allow yourself to be different. And so you found a good palm reader, which there aren't that many. It's kind of probably it's probably not a popular form of reading, although I wish it would be. I think it's very cool and very interesting. And so he saw something that was there already that you can't rub off because you were at the right point of your consciousness, of your awareness. You're ready for it. You're absolutely ready for it. And the reason why I said I loved your comment about the ringing of the ears, because healers love their bodies and they find health and awareness and consciousness interesting, regardless of what's going on. They aren't usually frightened or disappointed with it. They're curious. And that curiosity allows them to be good, fulfilling healers. To get to that vibration and that frequency of expansion has a lot to do with curiosity, not fear, not shutting down, not limiting their expansion. And there are incredible reasons why things happen to people that souls don't want to have eradicated when they incarnate to the physical realm, which is a contractual place of existence. They want to be able to have something arise in them to get them curious. Like maybe because of the ringing, you went and saw this healer, which I'm not sure if you've seen before, and somehow you got to the palm reader. It could all be very well related, but I love that you enjoy the ringing. And I do think it's a hormonal thing. I think that when most people begin to experience consistent ringing in their ears, it doesn't have to be full-time like yours is right now, but even rather consistent, it's because they need to have their hormones adjusted. They've probably gone down. So that's something to explore. And I would take some classes on healing if you're interested, or read books. I think that was an accurate assessment by that reader. Thank you.
Hi, Marie. My name's Luna. I am from South Australia. How do I even begin without sounding chaotic? Okay, question. Let me just do a quick backstory. I am a stay-at-home mum. I've got 3 young kids, a almost 6-year-old, a 4-year-old, a 1-year-old. I lost my mum a few weeks ago. She struggled with alcoholism my whole life, and it caused dementia. And for the last 5 years, she has really struggled. She's basically been trapped in her body. And so her passing has kind of been a bit of a relief, because I know she's finally at peace and not struggling so much. But it is a bit strange as well. It feels a bit overwhelming. I also have been trying to develop mediumship, and so I got a mentor. I'm doing a mentorship with a really great psychic medium from where I live, and it's been a little bit overwhelming because the last few sessions have been based on healings, and it has been very uncomfortable. It has brought up some stuff, and it's just made me feel very awful, I guess. In the last session, she basically said in a roundabout way that if I don't overcome my issues with intimacy, that my partner, my fiance, who's also the dad of my 3 kids, will either cheat on me or leave me. She also said that I've got a lot of healing to do. It's not going to be fun. It's going to be really hard. She said if I don't overcome my confidence issues, then I'm not going to be able to develop mediumship. And I kind of left just feeling very overwhelmed. And I don't know where to begin. I'd love for you to let me know if you feel anything, any advice. I'm also feeling really drawn towards learning Reiki. I feel like I'd be good at it and I'd enjoy it, but also wanting to learn mediumship. And I feel like I'm overwhelming myself with just so much. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know my question. What do you feel? What should I do? Please help me. I love your channel. I'm so grateful for the videos you've already put out. Yeah, thank you so much. Bye.
You're very welcome. I'm so sorry for that discomfort. I don't see an end to the relationship at this time period. Maybe when the kids get older, perhaps. And when it comes to relationship, it's not just one person. It's not just one person. Intimacy is kind of a scary thing for lots of people. And I don't mean just sex, but just true emotional connection and bond with intimacy. And, you've had some trauma, thanks to some of your mom's choices, but you chose her before you incarnated here. So you chose her for really good, amazing, and wonderful reasons. I think what will help you dive into intimacy, and I know I sound like a broken record every time I say this, is you falling in love with yourself. That's the true deepest intimate bond there could possibly be, is falling deeply in love with yourself. I do think you love Reiki too. Reiki helps people open up. It's not uncommon for energy healers to become mediums or mediums to become healers, because once you start working in the energy, then the energy can expand. So the Raku symbol that I spoke about earlier, it comes down through the crown of the head and really activates our multisensory ability. But you don't have to do anything else right now. You've got plenty on your plate. I wouldn't worry about the relationship. I'm not seeing it as a big sore spot or something that we need to talk about right now. I think repairing your own intimacy with yourself would be highly critical, and put a lot of energy into your self-worth and your confidence through loving yourself. That's what makes people successful, is self-worth and self-love. Whenever I want to expand my business, I know the one thing that I need to do more than anything else is to fall even more deeply in love with me. And honestly, it takes a lot of work to fall in love with oneself. Maybe more work than it is, especially for older souls, when it comes to loving others. But falling deeply and beautifully and magically in love with you is really the answer to everything that you're looking for. And then maybe you and your partner can have more conversations about the intimacy, because you'll know what you need and what you want. But it's possible that this relationship won't last a lifetime, but I don't see that right now. Maybe later. I hope that's helpful. Thank you.
Hello, Marie. Thank you for your clear, high frequency and loving energy. This is Mary from Bend, Oregon. Couple quick questions. What can you tell me about my spirit team and in relation to potential service that I may provide humanity? And lastly, are there any messages from the other side, especially related to my desired work? Thank you so much for all you do. Blessings and love.
So, regarding the desired work, the first thing, and this is from my perception, but the universe taught me this, is please don't think of service. That you're an older soul. Older souls already are overly compassionate. They come to earth to learn self-compassion so they can move into balance when it comes to helping the world. What helps older souls is to be very happy and fulfilled without thinking about service. When it comes to even the work I do, I don't think about service. I'm so grateful if what I do helps anyone ever. It's the icing on the cake for me, honestly. It shocks me and delights me and helps me feel aligned that I'm on the right path for me. But I really do the work I do because I love looking at energy. I like reading energy. I like talking to dead people. I love the whole psychic phenomenon, which I had no idea that I would love. I read a lot of books about psychic ability throughout my childhood, and many people that were around me thought they were psychic. I'm like, I don't think so. Which is funny because when I opened up, I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely not psychic. Yeah. So instead of thinking of being of service, think about what will bring you joy, because that is what will be of service. When older souls are doing what brings them joy, their light expands exponentially inside of them, this beautiful, brilliant, kind of violent light worker light that's inside of them. And then that light spills out into the universe and helps humanity to expand. And we could really use that right now, because we always have a lot of young souls on earth, but it's super obvious that we have a lot of young souls on earth. I think that's partially because older souls are setting boundaries and going, what do you mean by that? They're asking the hard questions, where older souls typically used to say, oh, they didn't mean that, or, oh my gosh, that's never going to happen. And now older souls are gaining their power, which means sort of thinking about themselves and what would make them happy and what would be fulfilling for them. So they're starting to ask questions of younger souls like, did you really mean that? And younger souls are being more honest and saying, yeah, I really meant that. I really want this. I really need that. And older souls are going, oh my gosh, that's really not good for the world or for humanity. So we're having this increase in vibration of older souls having a deeper awareness of who they are, and they're starting to live more authentically in the vibration of their inner joy. And when they do that, and that light starts to illuminate throughout the world, which happens when older souls are happy and fulfilled through their joy and passion, it will help younger souls to quicken faster, to kind of age their soul a little bit quicker. Now, this doesn't have to happen, but it will make life on earth a little bit more fun and relaxed as older souls own their own power and younger souls start to learn what they want to learn in this lifetime, which is compassion. And older souls need to let them have roles in the compassionate world instead of taking over all of them and exhausting themselves from overgiving, overdoing. So that's why I don't like the word service for older souls. It's great for young souls, but you're an older soul. Focus on yourself and your happiness, and you will be of service, I promise you, in the highest possible way probable. Like, really, it'll be amazing.
Hi, Marie. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. My name's Christine. I live in New South Wales, Australia. My question is, my mom, she is 78-year-old, born on 10th of 9th of October 1946. She's currently in Myanmar, Burma, where the civil war is. We'd like to know how her health is going to be in the last 2 months. What happened was on the 2nd of November, she collapsed, and her GCS was 3 for 16 hours. We thought we lost her. The conclusion is she has a massive clot, PE, and her. And she also has rapidly progressing Parkinson's. So what we like to know is, at the minute, she can't swallow, herself, very, very poor swallowing. She has been nasogastric feeding since 2nd of November, but 2-3 nights ago she pulled the nasogastric tube out at night. It must have been very uncomfortable for her. So we are planning to have a PET tube in, but due to the civil war in Burma, the theater and the surgeon or gastroenterologist, very difficult to find, but we're trying to get that done. But the question is, we'd like to know whether she will get better or in the next 2-3 months, is there any possibility of losing our mum? At the minute, she's bedbound. Part of it is due to Parkinson. She can't sit herself up. She still have indwelling catheter. Yeah, that's the question I really I'd like to know. Thank you.
You're welcome, Christine. I'm so sorry that your mom is having so many challenges. I mean, she really needs to come home and leave Burma, and that could be her home, but she needs to be closer to other family, but she can't travel with a clot. I mean, we don't want it to get loose. Your mom's complicated person, and that's why she's created this complicated exit for her, because the Parkinson's is advancing. So she's going to continue to have challenges and difficulties. I don't think your mother's going to have, and hopefully I'm wrong, I don't think she's going to have an about face of her health. Complicated people create complicated exits. In fact, has your family talked about do not resuscitate options at some point? It's not uncommon for people to pull out their nasogastric tubes because they are kind of uncomfortable anyway. I'm not a fan of PEG tubes because once they go in, they don't come out typically. So I really think the family needs to talk about hospice and end of life things. Even if she does recover and lives many more years, these are important conversations. And maybe she didn't explain any of this to you, but what is the quality of life that she wants to have? Because her Parkinson's is not going to reverse from my perspective. That's really the bigger, having a clot in your body that we hope is going to be dissolved or they'll be able to remove surgically. I don't know what the plan is because I don't know where it's at. It looks like lower extremities somewhere. I think that's where the conversation needs to be going, whether your mother's going to live another year or 2 years or 3 more years, or she's tough. So tough people can stretch it out. And your mother has this complicated energy inside of her. So she's making her passing also complicated. I know she's young. She's very young. She shouldn't have to leave the world right now, but she's having situations in her body that are not easily remedied. And your mother doesn't do inner work. She does not do inner work. And that creates the movement of energy and the rebalancing of our physical form. You probably left this message a little while ago, so I'm curious to know how she's doing right now. But I would sit down with the family and talk about hospice and end of life things, regardless of how long she lives. That's what I would do, because her Parkinson's is going to continue to progress. And other things that, the forgetfulness and the mind altering, all of this is going to continue to progress. Perhaps the clots will be healed or removed or whatnot through medications and all of those things, but she's not even eating on her own. And it's not really fun to live that way. But I hope that you guys had conversations before she became ill about these things. I think it's incredibly important. And I know people can change their mind whenever they want to. Someone could have plans for hospice and go, wait a minute, I don't want hospice anymore. I don't want that. I want to live as long as I can. And that's perfectly fine. But I think the whole family needs to sit down and have these conversations, because your mother is going to have, in my opinion, and hopefully I'm wrong, a complicated exit. She was a complicated human being. She made things more difficult than they needed to be. She will exit that way too, because I don't see that she's done inner work. And of course the universe would say to me, of course she's done some inner work. It's just not very obvious. It's not something that I can see significantly when I look at her energy. I hope this is helpful, and I'm very sorry. I hope that you all get to be together soon.
Hi, Marie. This is Julia. I live in Clermont. I work as an ICU RN. I grew up very introverted, an A-type personality, good grades, a lot of criticism towards myself due to my father being very critical and mocking at some point, kind of comparing me with my mom, or giving comments on my appearance. My household was not very close-knit, very cold parents. We never discussed our feelings. I finally broke off out of my household when I was in my early 20s, moved to US, and finally started working towards my goals. My son is now 15 years old. I'm a single parent, having trouble kind of maintaining a relationship, but I also believe that those relationships were not meant for me. Closed off a lot of friends. And now that I'm turning 39, I'm realizing that I'm running on a low energy, working hard to maintain the house, raising my son, not having very good relationship with my mom that is overseas, not having very close-knit relationship with friends. A lot of them that I closed off, they're no longer talking to me, and the ones that I have, they're younger, they're on a different path, and my path, I feel like, is it's stalling. I don't know where I'm going with my career, because I feel like I'm drained every day on ICU on days. That's why I'm moving nights. I also feel like I need to be more out there, so I'm going to sign up for a couple of conferences and going on a cruise. But I don't know how to raise my vibration otherwise, other than doing those things in public. I still feel quite alone. I still feel introverted. I still feel sometimes a little bit anger towards my mom, and I feel like that's what's holding me up. I think I need to learn how to be more loving towards others, forgiving, less criticizing. So I just need kind of an insight into this if you have any. Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you, Julia, for working in the intensive care unit. I was always tried to become close friends with the charge nurse on ICU because our patients were so ill, so we could transfer them over quickly, or I would work to change their code status. So thank you for what you do. I think you need some inner child work. You know, you need to change your stories and your experiences. Inner child work is very critical for helping humans to let go of their previous experiences and to kind of reparent their inner children so they stop reacting to old stimuli and old belief systems that hold them back. I'm not worried about you becoming more compassionate towards others. I think that will naturally happen. That may not have been your word, but that will naturally happen as you start to be more loving to yourself. A lot of inner dialogue is required for you for self-love. Like, honey, I love you. You're amazing. I'm proud of you. And I would repeat these in your head silently all day long, or as many times as you can throughout the day for the rest of your life. You just didn't get enough of that. You didn't get enough nurturing, enough verbal praise, which is critical. I mean, my kids and I today still tell each other how much we love each other every single day, even if it's over a text, but we usually communicate. I think I got like 200 texts today. I'm like furiously going down, fast, putting emojis on the conversations that I've missed while I'm working. So, inner child work, that means to find perhaps a coach or a therapist who's aware of energy and likes high vibration and consciousness and not dwelling on our old stories, but to help you to navigate through different aspects of yourself that are going to have powerful and strong memories of what it felt like to be 5 and their perception of 5. We don't want our younger selves to be running the show. We want our aware, healthy adult perception of us running the show. And so reparenting is critical when we do inner child work. So that's what I would highly recommend. I think that would be great for you. And then falling in love with you. That will allow you to create more friends and better intimacy. People can only love us to the level we love ourselves. So the more you love yourself, the more you will attract people who enjoy loving you. So that's what I recommend. And I'm excited for you. I'm glad that you want to work on all these. It's a very good and positive thing for you. Thank you.
Hi Marie, my name is Rena and I'm from Australia. From a little girl I've always been interested and attracted to spirituality, and at the same time I've always been scared of it. With the passing of my sister last year, it's ignited that again in me, and I'd just like to know the best way for me to move forward. Thank you for your advice.
Thank you, Rena. I'm so sorry about your sister crossing over. I truly am. It's hard when we lose family, but I'm glad it rekindled your authentic frequency and vibration about the other side. Fear is an illusion. So when anyone feels fear, it is not authentic. In fact, the acronym for fear is false evidence appearing real. I think you're feeling resistance towards your magnificence, which is what most people experience. They have resistance towards what's in their highest good, what's in their best interest, and they fight it and avoid it and push it away and make excuses for it. But I don't think you're afraid of mysticism at all. I think you're afraid of who you are, and you're afraid of being seen for who you are. You're afraid of being celebrated for who you are, which is pretty much most of the people on the planet. So how about some great what if questions? What if I'm an incredible medium? What if I'm an incredible spiritualist, whatever words you want to use? What if I am excelling in my multisensory abilities? What if I'm allowing myself to shine my light and feel comfortable in its exposure? What if I allow people to love, adore, and cherish me? What if I am living my magnificent self and I'm fulfilled and satisfied on every level? That's what I think you should start doing, is repeating curious, positive, what if questions so we can get your body's energy to recalibrate to the vibration that is more authentic to you. I would repeat them silently in your head throughout the day. And I would keep using that series of questions that I repeated until things have changed and you are confident in the change. Because this is you just allowing it to happen, opening up the door and allowing it to happen, which is important and critical and vital. That's what I think. I hope it's helpful. Your sister, she feels just a tiny bit sad to me. I'm not sure exactly why, except for now I know. She just wishes she had known what she knows now when she was in life. She said you knew some of it, but she wouldn't always pay attention to it. And she just wishes she had more of a spiritual awareness, if you will, or comfort or knowledge or a connection to her higher self while she was in physical form, because she says it brings her so much peace and she's really grateful. Okay, thank you so much.
Hi, Marie. My name is Micheal. I am a PhD candidate in biology, so I really appreciate how you connect your background being a nurse and like your scientific knowledge with your spiritual gifts. It's something I'm trying to do right now in my life. I found you through Next Level Soul podcast, which I think many others did, and I just really connect with you. I think you have a lot of really important stuff to say, and I just trust you. So I wonder if there's any messages from my spirit guides regarding my next steps in life. And also on my spiritual journey, if there's any way, if there's any, I feel very connected to spirit. I just don't necessarily know sort of where my, the best place to start tapping into that lies. If you have any sort of advice along that front. Okay. Anyway, thank you so much. And if this is playing, thank you so much for answering my question.
Thanks, Micheal. And congratulations on your PhD. I mean, oh my gosh, that's a lot of scientific knowledge you have in your beautiful brain. And I love science. Science proves spirituality over and over and over and over again. Quantum physicists, who study subatomic particles and the movements of these particles, which is really energy, many of them know that their minds affect the electrons and the protons when they're looking through an electron microscope or whatever energetic particles that they're observing. And so they know that they need to empty their mind when they're looking at energy so that their mind is not affecting the movement of subatomic particles. I can't tell you how important it is to leave the brain alone. And you have a beautiful brain. It's gorgeous, smart. To leave the brain alone so that we can have these intense, powerful, magical, authentic, supportive, multisensory experiences. I do feel confident you know how to leave your brain alone, whether that's because you meditate or you love nature, but you do know how to find your bliss. You do know how to feel your joy. I would spend more time in that frequency and that vibration while you're also saying, thank you, universe, so much for allowing me to have earth born multisensory experiences. I was trying to say, like, in your present moment in this physical realm, while you're a human, to have upgraded multisensory experiences. I think that will help you a lot. If people would try to manifest why their energy is elevated, but people don't do that. They start focusing on manifestation before their energy is even in a place where they could be manifesting. So it's critical to wait until your energy is in high function, like when you're walking a path or out in nature or listening to frogs. Like, I know the frogs are, I said this on the last podcast, but they are crazy right now. They make me so happy. I sleep with the window open at night anyway, but this is my favorite time of year to sleep with the window open so I can just hear them serenading me. I mean, that's what I think. All night long, all morning long. I mean, they're just, they're so amazing. So that's what's going to give you those flashes of inspiration and feelings of joy. And that's when you know what direction to go into. I didn't go into nursing, and I think most people know this story, because I was encouraged to, as a young person, to become a nurse. A couple of people did recommend that when I was young, but my family is so holistic. So, I mean, here's a story. When my mother was sick a few years ago, she had a really bad cold. She had bronchitis. I knew it. I practically had to shove her into a car to take her to a doctor so that she could get antibiotics. She didn't want to take them. She didn't even want to go to the doctor. But I mean, she was coughing terribly. She was having a hard time breathing. She was in her early 80s. She had not seen a regular doctor. My mother doesn't have a regular doctor. She sees her eye doctor, but she doesn't see regular doctors. I don't think she has a practitioner of any sort right now. So I get her to, this MD, and sure enough, she has bronchitis. He orders antibiotics for her. He is shocked that she doesn't take any prescription medicine. But of course, when I take her home and I fill a prescription for her, give her the medicine, my brother, the oldest boy, I'm the oldest sibling, so the oldest boy, is mad that I took her to the doctor, tells her not to take that prescription. I mean, this is how fiercely holistic members of my family are. So I didn't go into nursing because I thought it was a good move, a logical move. I went into it because it brought me joy. Science classes brought me joy. Nursing school brought me enormous joy. Working on the oncology floor brought me amazing joy. So when you follow your joy, that's how we open up to our magnificence. So it doesn't matter what the joy is, and the brain's not going to understand it. Like, maybe my story isn't average, but it still went against my logical mind. So start doing things that bring you joy, that go against your logical mind. And then you will know, and you can follow your inspiration. Have a good day.
Hi, Marie. I recently learned about you through an interview on YouTube, and I immediately resonated with you. I'm wondering if you would be able to guide me through next best steps for my situation. I had a diagnosis of LCIS breast cancer in 2012. I chose to have a bilateral mastectomy at that time. I did not have any reoccurrence of cancer until this year. The cancer reappeared in my ovaries when I had a hysterectomy. I do not have cancer showing up in scans or tumor markers at this time. I started CDK4 inhibitors and hormone blockers, and there are many emotional and energy issues I've been working on to heal now and for the past many years. As a lifelong seeker, I want to live, and I feel I have many more years on this planet than the doctors predict of 3 to 5. I want to dive into energy work and heal as much as possible in this lifetime. My question to you is, where do I go from here? What is the next best steps? Thank you.
Thank you, Tara. I'm so sorry about the diagnoses, and I don't know why they gave you 3 to 5 years. It's not Mets. They're just, I guess, assuming it will metastasize. And I'm not sure why the hormone blockers, when I'm assuming you don't have your ovaries, because they most likely did a full hysterectomy. So I'm perplexed by that, but I'm not an oncologist, and I haven't worked in oncology for over 20 years. I've been a full-time energy worker and medium and healer during all that time. Here is what your soul wants. You want to receive. So breast cancer, regardless of anyone's gender or how a person may identify oneself, is overall, from like the simplest approach of the movement of energy, it's from not taking in enough energy. The heart chakra, which governs breast tissue and the lungs and the heart muscle and the upper back, the thymus gland, the sternum, all of that. The heart chakra is the highest receptivity center in the physical body. So out of all of your chakras, it is the heart chakra for everyone that takes in the most amount of subatomic particles. It's like, and it happens through the back of the heart chakra. So the chakras 2 through 6 have a front and a back portion. So it's the back of the heart chakra in between your shoulder blades that is where it takes in the most amount of energy. And you are not a good receiver. A lot of people aren't, by the way. It's not personal. It's it's kind of an old soul, and then obviously, women, but it could be men who have feminine energy too. But women have been taught to be givers and peacekeepers and, all of those things. And it doesn't really matter why. The why of it is unnecessary, in my opinion. So you're going to have to learn how to receive. That could be a great what if question for you. What if I receive all that I truly deserve? And then I'd love for you to imagine, you can imagine whatever you want that makes you happy, but maybe 100,000 hummingbirds flying into your back every single day. When you're in the shower, imagine the rain from the shower going into your back. Imagine all the pores on your body open and you're just absorbing energy. To receive is, and I've used this word so much in this podcast today, or I'm just noticing, critical. It's like really important to receive. Everything needs energy to work. Having a preventative mastectomy, bilateral, we need energy to make sure that we don't have any form of metastasis in the future. To have medications work, to have anything work in our life, to manifest, to create, it requires particles. I've never met a human being who takes in too much energy. I myself, who's fully or consistently aware of the movement of energy, I still don't take in enough. And I rest and I love myself and have lots of fun. And I feel very blessed, but I can tell I'm still not in that high frequency vibration consistently of. So that's what you need to do. And then you can live as long as you want here, can stay as long as you want and not worry about, and you don't seem to be worried about it. And I'm glad you got the double mastectomy. I think people need to do what they think is in their best interest to safeguard their health, whatever they feel is correct for them at that time. So your job is to receive. Receiving is it's a resting practice. I often think of plants, like house plants that need water. They're not, unless they're probably, ignored. They're not reaching through the house yelling at people to bring water. They're just waiting. And then they're at rest, and so that their roots can absorb the fluid and the fertilizer that's moving through them. Like all of nature, it waits for the rain and then it brings it in. So you don't have to wait for anything. You just need to start taking in and feel safe to receive. That's why some people don't receive, is they feel safe. They feel like there's too much negativity out in the world. Well, that's not true at all. To receive is a high vibrational experience, and that's what will create the changes that you want. Thank you.
Hi, Marie. My name is Jessica Dominguez. I'm from Casper, Wyoming. My question is, when I was a child, I had several and very often visitation dreams from grandparents who had already passed on, as well as an occasional prophetic dream, for lack of a better term. Currently, I don't have these dreams. They've stopped a few years ago, and I can't figure out how to get them back. Can you please help me?
Hi, Jessica. I know my youngest, I think she was about 8 or 9 at the time. And she came to me because I've talked to my children about spirituality since they were quite young. Our kids didn't attend any form of organized religion. I actually took my kids to a church. It was Sylvia Brown used to have a church here in Tacoma. She wasn't present the time that she was still on the planet then, but she's a psychic teacher, or was a psychic teacher and author. My kids didn't even like that church. I'm like, what? Okay, you're never going to church. But my daughter had an experience where she saw a woman standing in her room over several nights, and it scared her. And I told her, I'm pretty sure that's one of your spirit guides. And she goes, I don't care. I don't want it. And I said, well, just tell it to go away. So she did. She wants those experiences back now, but she's a very busy mom of 2. And I'm sure it will happen appropriately. You do run your energy super, super, super fast, almost in that, not almost, but in that fight or flight response. And so it can be difficult to really maintain one's connection to the multisensory world when our energy is running so fast and furiously. So I would love for you to start meditating or do Qigong, go for a swim, do something to really lower the kind of hyperness of your energy system. And then all you have to do is just say to the universe, whenever we want something, we just have to ask for it as if it's already happened, with gratitude. Say, thank you so much. After you've got your energy system to calm down, thank you so much for my multisensory abilities, for my ability to communicate between worlds, to act as a medium, or whatever words you want to use. Thank you for these outstanding abilities that have brought me such incredible joy and fulfillment. That's really how to pray. To ask for what you want as if it's already here. That's really how we pray. And that will happen. Okay, on to the next person.
Hi, Marie. This is Hung from Portland, Oregon. I would like to have a reading on my health. Currently, I'm experiencing some lower back pain on my right side, and also some joint pain, mostly on my right side, my wrist and my elbow last month. And I'm wondering what's going on. I've been trying to figure out how to listen to my intuition, and I'm wondering if I am ignoring something or what's going on. So anyway, yes, thank you very much. Bye.
Bye. You're very welcome. So the right-hand side of the body is about your power, your personal power. And true power is not like how humans experience power. It's not like that. True power is compassionate. It's high vibration. It's kind of like the universe is very neutral. Even when I'm sharing and giving readings, there's a directness to my expression because the universe is direct. It's not wishy-washy. It just says it like it is. And that's what real power is like too. So all of these things will dissipate as you allow yourself to step into your own power, which I think also means speaking your truth. I'm not sure you know all the aspects to your truth. I would spend time in the lower half of your body and getting curious about what you're feeling, starting to express it, which means you could even just write it down. You don't have to talk to people about it if you don't want to, but that's going to help the right-hand side of your body. And this is just your body talking to you, which is cool. How lucky is that? That's amazing. Thank you.
Hi, Marie. I would like to hear your intuitive input, your insight on hand tremors. My son, he's 35 years old, and he's moving up in his company, but he's very self-conscious, and he just really annoys him that he has these hand tremors.
Right.
And we've been looking into finding ways to see if we can do something about that, and so far have had no luck. Would like to know what you think about this and would like your advice. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Beth, that's a really cool and interesting question. What most people don't understand is that the hands are connected to the heart chakra. So the heart chakra governs the arms and hands from the elbows on down to the fingertips. And then the throat chakra governs the shoulders down to the elbow. So the elbow is kind of shared between the fourth heart chakra and the fifth, the throat chakra. So this is about your son's heart chakra, and he keeps it closed in the back. He has anxiety. He's probably had it for a long time. It's not just from the tremors. Here's what I would recommend. If you've been listening to this podcast today, then I've already given instruction on how to receive through the back of the heart chakra through one of our callers. And I would love it if your son would fall in love with the tremors. He doesn't have to do it in public if he doesn't want to, but when he's at home, I want him to start valuing and appreciating them, become friends with them, because his body's trying to talk to him. It's trying to explain something to him. Now, he may not fully understand what his hands want to tell him, but hands are cool. They're all about healing. They're about connecting with others. He tends to be a little reserved, I would say, when it comes to relationships. At least that's my perception. So if he could fall in love with the tremors and open up his heart chakra and start receiving energy, I think that's going to relax this movement significantly. I hope that's helpful. And thank you, everyone, for listening to the podcast today. I hope you're having a beautiful day. Bye-bye for now.